So dear students, how boiling is a bulk phenomena? Because particles of the bulk of a liquid gain enough energy to change to vapor state. Whole bulk, the entire bulk of liquid and all the molecules including interior and as well as the surface molecules gain energy to change to vapor state. In case of boiling, each and every molecules like interior molecules or surface molecules, they gain energy from the heat energy supplied and they change to vapor state. In case of evaporation, which we are going to discuss, that only surface molecules get evaporated and change to vapor state. Let's recapitulate regarding how much energy does 1 gram of 100 degree centigrade liquid water require 533 calories of heat energy to get convert into 1 gram of 100 degree centigrade water vapor, and 1 gram of 0 degree centigrade ice require 79.7 calories to get converted into 1 gram of 0 degree water. Dear students, we have already learned how a solid when heated changes to liquid state and how a liquid changes to vapor state while when heated. But there are some solids which on heating they directly change from solid state to gaseous state without changing to liquid state, and the process is known as sublimation. In sublimation, solid is directly converted to gaseous state without going to liquid phase. So here is an activity of ammonium chloride, which is a solid sublimate, which on heating changes to gaseous state and on cooling it changes again back to solid state. So the change of state directly from solid state to gases without changing to liquid state is known as sublimation, and the reverse process, which is the direct change of gas to solid without changing to liquid, is known as deposition. Here are the examples of sublimable solids: naphthalene balls, camphor, iodine, ammonium chloride, dry ice, and there's other examples too. Now let's discuss effect of pressure on states of matter. So we already have seen how temperature affect the states of matter. In case of pressure, for example, if a gas is filled in a cylinder and if it's pressured by piston, it will get compressed. So the molecules will come closer and eventually it will change to liquid state. So with increase in pressure, the gas turns to liquid. So for example, LPG gas and a gas in a gas lighter, you see it's liquid because it is pressurized gas. Again, for example, CO2. If CO2 gaseous CO2 is applied high pressure, it changes to dry ice, and vice versa. If the pressure is released, it changes to. So dear students, we have talked about interconversion of states of matter. That is, from solid to liquid, it's known as fusion or melting. And the reverse is known as solidification, that is from liquid to solid. And when a liquid changes to gas is known as vaporization, or we can say boiling. And the reverse process, gas to liquid, is known as condensation or liquefaction. And in sublimation, that is solid to gas, is known as sublimation. And the reverse process is deposition. Now we are going to learn about the conversions from centigrade to Kelvin, and from Kelvin to centigrade, and from Fahrenheit to centigrade. So there is a formula here that if you want to convert a degree centigrade to Kelvin, you have to add 273. You will get Kelvin temperature. And if you want to get temperature in centigrade from Kelvin, you have to subtract 273. Let's take example here. That is 27 degree centigrade when converted to Kelvin is equal to 300 Kelvin. And when you are converting 400 Kelvin to centigrade, you will get 127 degree centigrade. Then too many students get it wrong during exams. Sometimes when converting from centigrade to Kelvin, they subtract from centigrade, and from Kelvin to centigrade they add. So I want to tell you some trick which is very easy. If we are going or converting from centigrade to Kelvin, so just look alphabetically C to K, like A, B, C. From C to K, it's increasing. So you can just use this idea, like C to K is increasing. So same way, add 273. So we'll be able to remember that while C to K, we have to add. And when we're going from K to C, like alphabetically, K to C, so it's decreasing alphabetically. So you can use this trick, and whenever you have to convert from Kelvin to centigrade, so it's like a decreasing alphabetically. So you can use this trick, and you can subtract 273 Kelvin. Now let's talk about from Fahrenheit to centigrade. In case of Fahrenheit, there is a formula 5 by 9 into bracket degree Fahrenheit minus 32. By using this formula, you can get centigrade. In our day-to-day lives, we have seen that when we get fever, we say like someone is having fever 100 degree. That is actually in Fahrenheit. Let's take an example of 100 degree Fahrenheit. So if we take 100 degree Fahrenheit, now let's convert into centigrade. So the answer is 37.77 degree centigrade. So 100 degree Fahrenheit is equal to 37.7 degree centigrade. Now we're going to talk about evaporation, which is a surface phenomena. So dear students, evaporation is like particles from the surface of water or any liquid gain enough energy to overcome the force of attraction present in the liquid and change into vapor state. So let's talk about evaporation. So dear students, we know that at a given temperature in any gas, liquid or solid, the particles are in continuous motion. They have kinetic energy. But in case of liquid, particles are much in motion compared to solids, and the surface molecules are having higher kinetic energy compared to the interior molecules. Surface molecules are having high energy because they are in contact with air, and the air molecules is continuously colliding. So the surface molecules are having high kinetic energy because they are in constant collision with the air molecules, and hence because of this high energy they are able to break the force of attraction of other particles and they get converted into vapor. And this phenomena of change of liquid into vapor at any temperature below its boiling point is known as evaporation. So dear students, in case of evaporation, water or liquid vaporizes below its boiling point.